The new Buddhist beliefs also produced the most fascinating of Tibetans, the yogis. Unlike the Hindu yogi, performing contortions for the public, the achievements of the Tibetan yogi were achievements of the mind, unseen by others. The Tibetan yogi was a monk or layperson who, having studied the teachings of the Buddha as a scholar, wanted to actually experience their promise within his own mind, a state of existence called enlightenment. For the aspiring yogi, attaining enlightenment meant gaining an earthly preview of the bliss of nirvana through intensive mental and physical exercises in remote caves or huts. Their goal was to rise above the suffering of samsara, or physical life, and discover the purest nature of consciousness. In their quest, meditation retreats could last for years. For centuries, Tibetans revered these yogis as the most mystical people in their society. They supported their pursuit of enlightenment by providing the monasteries with food, clothing, and currency. The yogis inspired Tibetans with the hope that freedom from the suffering of physical life might indeed be attainable. To grasp the loss at stake with the loss of the master yogis, it is vital to understand what they have contributed to human development during their unique history. While the most advanced thinkers in the West developed the physical sciences to improve the outward state of humanity, the yogis developed a science of the mind to improve the inward state of humanity. Improving the emotional and moral response of the mind was their lofty goal, to transform patterns of thinking and alter patterns of acting by conquering anger, aggression, greed, pride, jealousy, even subdue states of physical discomfort. The techniques they developed to achieve these results are only now being recognized and affirmed by Western study of the brain and body. Central to the tradition of the yogis is the passing down of extensive teachings and highly guarded practices for training both body and mind. Keeping the mind from going everywhere is precisely the challenge in meditation, and for centuries, aspiring yogis have retreated to remote places to avoid distraction while training their minds. Imagining life removed from society for years at a time can be difficult for Westerners accustomed to a world of virtually non-stop interaction. The question of where is another challenge. For Tibetans in exile, such places still exist in the Indian Himalayas beyond the reach of the Chinese. One of the 24 sacred places in Tibetan Buddhism is Lapchi, a meditation place, a Milarepa, one of Tibet's first yogis revered for abandoning a criminal lifestyle and attaining enlightenment within a single lifetime. A monk hiked for 6 days with a heavy camera into the mountains to bring back a glimpse of this primitive retreat. Even now, the images he recorded were permitted with reluctance. If the notion of pursuing enlightenment seems vague or inscrutable, the path of the yogi is in fact quite specific. The techniques and practices developed over a millennium are revealed to them in a rigorous order and only by an accomplished practitioner. Their beginning premise is that the untrained mind is like a raging elephant out of control. The yogi's initial task is to slowly put reins on the leaping, erratic thoughts of the mind by using specific tools, the repetition of core beliefs in mantras, and exercises to empty the mind of conceptual thought. Two yogis in retreat in Lapshi agreed to an interview, an unheard of opportunity.
You have come to Lapchi when I have taken a few days' break in my retreat. This is an auspicious coincidence, and something like this can only happen because of past connections and aspirational prayers. Milarepa went on a very long retreat in Lapchi and reached enlightenment through the practice of Tumo. He left several footprints on the rocks of Lapchi, which attract many pilgrims. The disciples of many important masters have meditated at caves in Lapchi and the surrounding places. I am here on a retreat with permission from His Holiness Chetsang Rinpoche. After many years' retreat, I came to the conclusion that a human being's physical constitution in particular was a big impediment for serious practitioners. I came to realize that the only way to remove these impediments was to attain mastery over the 5 elements, so that my practice did not have to be dependent upon sustenance and health. I read Milarepa's life history. It completely ravished away my mind. I strongly aspired to master the 6 yogas of Naropa, as well as the secret prana, nadi, and bindu, the 3 main components that are important in the practice of yoga. At any cost, I was determined to train myself to be able to master Tumo or Chandali. To do this, I found that Dharamsala was not conducive to the attainment of my aspirations. I needed a teacher who could pour down in me his experiential knowledge of such practices. I wanted the result of my efforts to create and leave an indelible imprint on my mind stream that I can forever carry forward. The most difficult thing to do is remain in single-pointed concentration. Bodily efforts, like doing hundreds of thousands of prostrations, and the efforts of speech, like recitation of mantras, are no problem. Controlling the mind is.
The disciplined mind then becomes a powerful tool in its own right, enabling the practitioner to become aware of the subtle energies of the body, then master them through the breathing and physical postures known as yogas. Modern Western medicine has documented the mental powers of these meditation masters. One such practice, Tumo, was developed for generating body heat in the icy caves of Tibet. Yogis who have mastered Tumo are capable of immersing themselves in icy lakes and, 15 minutes later, producing visible steam rising from their robes. The yogi who has spent years practicing and has gained a high degree of mastery over both mind and body is said to have achieved a high level of attainment, to have become a highly realized being. Their powers are sometimes said to extend into the realm of the paranormal. Such supernatural stories have swirled around the Tibetan yogis throughout their history, thickening the cloud of mystery surrounding them. Tales of telepathic communication and mind-controlling matter are reported among advanced practitioners to this day.